Hi, welcome to PT Dan's videos. Today we're going to be talking about the lat pull down and, more importantly, the question of whether a wide grip lat pull down is better than a medium grip. So is it true that the wider grip you take, the better it activates your lats? So let's have a look at the actual artwork. Skull, vertebra, rib cage, scapula, humerus, elbow joint, tibia fibula with the bar of the lat pull down attached to the hands by the cord. Now over here we can see the lats. It's the biggest muscle in your upper body. The point of origin is your lower vertebra. Point of insertion is here in your humerus. When it contracts, it pulls your humerus bone down into your body, into a position we call adduction, or a movement that we call adduction, where when it contracts, it's adding that bone towards your body. So when it contracts, it pulls your humerus. Now that you see where it's attached to, we ask the question, does taking a wider grip play a better role? The answer is simply no. But the question is, now, why? So if you look at the diagram here, you'll notice that the lat's job is to pull the humerus into adduction, pull the humerus down. So because of that, if we wipe this bone out completely, you'll notice that the job of this lat hasn't changed any movement. So it doesn't matter if this bone goes high, or it's there, or it's here. Above that line and above that point, whatever changes has no change to your lat and its attachment point on the humerus. So what I'm saying is, when you have a look at this line here, whatever happens, whatever attachment point at the top, changes nothing down here. And so because the changes up here makes no changes down here, it doesn't matter if you take a wide grip or a medium grip, your lat's always working the same intensity. So if you simply want to put your lat under more tension, the first thing you've got to focus on is your technique, and the second thing you need to focus on is perhaps increasing the weight load. So the only thing that we want to talk about here is that you can't take your hands beyond parallel to one another. Your forearms can't collapse in. So if I'm taking a lat pull down grip, so shrug, pull straight down, notice my forearms are parallel to one another. I can't take a grip in here because now my biceps just contract too much to pull down. So as long as it's vertical, then I can focus on pulling my elbow straight down and not have to worry about my biceps coming into play. So as long as you are parallel, your lats can contract properly. The wider your hand goes, it makes no change to the contraction point and the way that your lats actually contract and the way your lats work. It makes no change whatsoever. Because as we've drawn the line, you'll notice that whatever changes up here makes no change down there. So your lats will always contract, pulling this humerus bone down, and up here it makes no difference to leverage. Especially when what you're focusing on doing is pulling your elbows and not your hands. So if, in conclusion, something really scientific and something really great to add to this is if you are taking a wide grip and if you can feel a difference, it means that you're doing the exercise wrong in the first place. What tends to happen is the closer your hand comes to that medial point, and as it goes beyond, so long as it goes vertical, if you're pulling your hand, you're contracting your bicep way too much. Right? So if you're pulling your hand, you're contracting your bicep. If you're pulling your elbow, you're contracting your lats. So what we want to be doing is we want to be focusing on pulling your elbow and not your lats. So in your mind, you shrug and you think about pulling your elbow to the floor. You don't think about pulling your hand. Because you're thinking about pulling your elbow, because your lats are attached to the bone that goes to your elbow, your lats will contract. If you think about pulling your hand, then the muscle that's attached to the bone that goes to your hand, your bicep, that will contract. So what we want to do is we want to keep the weight off your bicep, and because it goes off your bicep, you can feel it more in your lats. So if your hand goes out wider, your biceps can't contract that much, and therefore more weight goes to your lats. But the whole point is this: if you're doing your lat pull downs properly, and you are focusing on pulling your elbows, and if you're thinking about pulling your elbows to the floor and not your hands, then it doesn't matter where the position of your hand is, the lats are always going to contract the same and feel the same. So all you need to do is, like I mentioned, focus on your technique a little bit more and increase the weight load. In conclusion, if you're doing your lat pull down properly and pulling your elbows, the position of your hand makes no difference. If you're doing the lat pull down wrong and you're pulling your hand and trying to pull the bar to the ground, then if your hand goes further out, you will transfer more weight to your lats, because the further your hand goes out, the less your bicep comes into play. Talk to you soon.